Day 6 of everything I found in the Epstein files. Warning, it gets really weird. Epstein might still be alive via a transaction of V-Bucks through his Fortnite account. Files talking about how Joe Biden isn't the real Joe Biden. He was killed in 2019 via firing squad and they replaced him with a fake. Emails about sexually abusing girls to activate something called stage 3 special abilities. Further emails about using powers to bend spoons. Odd references to massive freezers full of beef jerky and him needing to go on a normal human diet because he's suffering deleterious effects from this jerky. Email chains with the CEO of Google attached, quoting that their blockchain has all the satanic pedophilia transactions timestamped on the blockchain. Same email chain, the references to quantum computing being used in the United States for anti-criminal software operations. Piers Morgan being mentioned in the files numerous times. Situation with Prince Andrew being brought up, saying that quote unquote, the Brits won't let this go, recommending Piers Morgan to interview him to help clean the slate, I guess. Into shifting the public narrative in order to alleviate pressure for the crimes they've committed. It has massive implications because it's long been suspected that they shift the narrative in order to make you forget about serious crimes. This is just them literally admitting to it. A limo driver's testimony claiming that Epstein and Trump raped and then killed a girl. However, this is all allegedly. This is the only account I could find of it. A reference to something called Color of the Day, where agents will dress in the same color when running an operation to identify each other. Be seen multiple times throughout the files. It is entirely unredacted except for one situation on the day of September 10th, the same day that Charlie was killed. It is the only one where the color of the day is redacted. A coded diary written from one of the victims of Epstein's point of view, her having kids, and then Epstein and Ghislaine taking the kid away from her. It's extremely sad and graphic. And strangest of all, very formally written email claiming that Donald Trump is not the real Donald Trump, that he was killed in 1995, that his oldest son has actually been trying to keep Trump alive through these fake people to run his brand. The person is so certain of this, they claim to be Ghislaine Maxwell's younger sister. They claim to have fingerprints stamped. They claim to have the keys to Jeffrey Epstein's apartment and all his video log, all the genetic and hard proof, names they cite in the emails, and everything else to literally back it up. It is by far the weirdest thing I've ever read, especially with the amount of claimed evidence. I have no idea if this is true or not, but this is actually crazy. So this is something that maybe like a Soother Sloop, like Ian Carroll or somebody should look into. I drop a video soon on the stuff that I think is probably the most true out of these files. However, I do think every American should take into consideration that there isn't really any going backwards at this point. We need to accept that this is now a part of the world that we live in. Though there's a big rush and push to not pay taxes before everybody goes and does that, I do think that a more thoughtful approach, be litigious, only pay what you absolutely must, use the loopholes that Trump says he uses this first year. Because most people are not set up in a way to handle a life without the system in place. And then you can spend this year doing things like getting in shape, training in martial arts, learning how to garden, learning how to farm if you have land, stocking up on food, stocking up on water, learning how to use a firearm safely, connecting with your local community, connecting with your friends, connecting to God. So if something did happen and for some reason everybody decided to not pay taxes, you won't be like stranded in the dust. And the only people that would ever have a problem with you being healthy, in shape, knowing how to cook, how to garden, stocking up on food and water, knowing how to safely use a firearm, connecting with God, connecting with your community, and connecting with family would be a ring of evil satanic pedophiles that don't want their citizens being anything other than tax cattle.